Hey everyone, and welcome back for another episode of Round Robin. I am your host, Tracy Preston, along with Christine Mulligan, Nina Mulligan, and of course, my husband, Todd Preston. Hey everyone.
Hey, howdy y'all.
Hey everybody.
So today is St. Patrick's Day, but by the time the show airs, it's 2 days after.
Right.
But you guys are going to have to deal with us celebrating St. Patrick's Day. So happy St. Patrick's Day 2 days later.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. I am Irish as well.
And I'm Irish.
And I have a little bit of Irish in me too.
What about Nina?
I'm Irish and Scottish, so I fight with myself all the time.
Well, that would be fun to watch.
Yeah, it is.
So do you guys normally eat the huge type
Yeah, you
fare?
gotta do a little bit of corned beef and potatoes. And most people do cabbage, but I didn't do cabbage because it's gassy, and I didn't feel up to that.
I'm sure Nina thanks you.
I love some cabbage, though, and I love Brussels sprouts, but they do the same thing.
Yeah.
You get the toots afterwards.
Yeah, and I kind of got to be in the mood for it. Like, sometimes I love it, and I'm all about it. And sometimes I'm like, blah, blah. I can't.
Oh, I don't think
I'm moody like that when it comes to food.
Oh man, I don't think I could ever turn down corned beef.
Corned beef.
Oh, no,
good.
not corned beef. It's the cabbage.
Oh,
We're
cabbage.
talking about cabbage.
Gotcha. The
No,
gassy.
I love me some corned beef. Corned beef and potatoes. You can't
I
go
can
wrong.
take it or leave it. I didn't grow up on it, so... The first time I had it was like literally since I've met her. I've had it like twice in the 45 years I've been alive on the earth.
Oh.
And I mean, it wasn't bad, but it's not like something I want to just go get and do for like funsies. Yeah.
Well, what about sauerkraut?
Yeah, do you like
Nope.
that? Nope.
No.
Oh,
Nope, nope, and nope.
I love the sauerkraut.
I like sauerkraut on a burnt hot dog with brown mustard.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the only way. Well, actually, sauerkraut on Reuben's is pretty good too.
Yeah.
On a
Absolutely.
Reuben pan.
Hands
But other
down.
than that, that's the only time I do sauerkraut. Oh, wait. There is a certain kind of rib.
sauerkraut except for like every time I do sauerkraut.
And there's also a rib dish that my mother and my uncles make where the sauerkraut is like in the ribs. And that's good too.
Oh.
All right, listen here. Listen good. Get that recipe from your mother. I've never even heard of that, and I bet that would be amazing.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Mm.
I don't. Maybe it's a Polish dish or something. I don't know. I don't want to like be. I don't know, dissing anybody if I say it's one thing or another. But
I'm sorry, I can't get behind something that sounds like, you know, a farmer hawking a loogie in the middle of a cornfield somewhere.
yeah.
That's what it sounds like. Sauerkraut. Like,
That's offensive to the rib.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be offensive. But that's what it kind of looks like, too. You know?
No.
It's like chunky, like white and chunky. No, thank you.
Stringy,
That's why
chunky.
I don't do sausage gravy either.
Oh, I can't.
I can't with that.
Those are fighting words.
I just look. It's a texture thing. It's a eyeball thing.
Yeah, I think she was going to say something else. That's why she doesn't do something else. But we'll leave it at that. Let's just leave it there.
We'll leave it there.
Okay.
Well, you know, I had to scramble, right? Because I'm like, oh, dear God, it's St. Patrick's Day, and I have just too much going on and totally blitzed it. So I'm zipping through some Pinterest, and I'm like, oh, look at that. It's corned beef meatloaf. What? Yeah, that's right. Corned beef meatloaf.
Yeah.
So-
Really? How is that?
That
Wait,
might be
corned
fun.
beef and ground meat, or just corned
Yeah.
beef ground up?
No, so, you know, I sent Todd off to the store. I'm like, okay, this is going to work. And then I'm going to make some potato and carrot stackers. So Todd gets to the store and he's like, babe, there's like no corned beef. I'm like, go to the deli. He goes to the deli, no corned beef. I'm like, oh, Todd brought up, well, maybe it's canned because I've bought it before where it's canned corned beef. You know what I mean? You got to break this. You got to use that little key to open it up and all that. So I'm
I
like,
don't like to stop with that already.
oh, it was good though. Yes. Yeah. So you take that and then you run it through the food processor and break it up real good. And then so it was a pound of that and a pound of burger. Then I put both of them together. So then that got all mixed up real good. Then a cup of sauerkraut, mix that in with an egg and breadcrumbs and Thousand Island dressing. Mix that all together, formed the loaf, baked it with more Thousand Island on top, and then we covered it when it was almost done with the Gruyere cheese.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
That shit was
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
I could get behind that.
Yeah. I'll make it for you. And the
But
potatoes.
I love meat.
Yeah, me too. And the potato stackers are so awesome. You just slice them real thin. Then I shredded up carrots, mix it all together with, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, olive oil, and then shredded mozzarella. Like Christine says it.
You can say mozzarella. I mean, it's okay.
The way she says it's just so much better.
Mozzarella.
The mozzarella. I love it.
I don't think I say it that dramatic, but
You totally do.
Every time I say it like that, I feel like Mario.
Right. I love it. Yep. So it was amazing. So I will definitely share that recipe with you. But have you guys had what was your most memorable St. Patrick's Day? We'll start with you, hun.
My most favorite,
Your most
memorable,
memorable St. Patrick's Day. What stands out to you out of all the years?
our first one together when we went to the pub. That was fun because I never actually hung out with the person that I love on St. Patty's Day before, so that was cool.
In Charlotte?
Yep.
Oh, that was fun. That was St. Patty's Day.
Yep. And we had our friends. They had their band and they were playing there too, so.
Yeah. Sean and Tom.
Yep.
That was fun. And we had our St. Patrick's Day shirts on.
And we did, yep.
That was fun. What about you ladies? Do you have a most memorable St. Patrick's Day?
I don't know. I grew up in a very Irish neighborhood, so we had Irish Day in October, and then we also celebrated St. Patrick's Day, of course. And I grew up in a beach town. It was like a bar town also. So there was a bar on every wide street. Like every other street was, I lived in the West End, so every other street was one way, two way, one way, two way. And on the corner of every two-way street, there was a bar. So, ironically enough. So Irish Day and St. Patrick's Day, all of those memories kind of blur together for me. And that was awesome. I always appreciated that. And I guess, because I am mostly Irish, I don't know, just, it hits a little different.
Right on. What about you, Nina?
I never really celebrated St. Patrick's Day because I'm not Catholic and did not grow up in an Irish neighborhood or anything like that. So the only time I ever celebrated it growing up was at school. And that was just a vehicle for the boys to pinch you all day long. So then school had to ban you from doing that because the boys couldn't stop pinching. And then by the time I got out of high school, I was, pregnant and married, and I didn't go to bars. So really the first time I ever celebrated St. Patrick's Day, I guess, was with Christine. Yeah.
Aww.
So that had to be the best, because seriously, that's it. I've never been a beer drinker either. So going to a pub and doing the whole beer thing would have never been my jam. So I don't know. I like it. I think it's fun. I didn't grow up with the tradition of celebrating it.
I guess we didn't either, but I have two really good memories. One, they both came from living in Pennsylvania. I had fun with you too at the bar hunt, but these are extra unique. So,
Yeah, you sound like a jerk no matter what now.
I know. Just go for it. Well, it was, when I was working at St. Mary's in Langhorne, Pennsylvania, and a couple of nurses. Well, one nurse it was in northern PA, and it was the largest, because I was never a big bar hopper or anything like that either, but this was the largest, and it's killing me. I can't remember the name of the town, but I've never seen so many people in green before. I mean, it was packed. You could barely move, but the parade was insane. But what was even cooler after that was there was a big Greyhound bus, and it was full of bagpipers. And the bagpipers, it didn't matter. They hit every bar. So it didn't matter what bar you were in. All of a sudden, here they came. And they are just up, playing those bagpipes. And that was so, so much fun. So that was one memory. And then the other one was working again at St. Mary's. One of the girls we worked with was from Cork, Ireland. And it was a Catholic hospital, of course, St. Mary's. And we all took the day off. So we let all the newer nurses work on St. Patrick's Day. And one of the priests from the hospital came to where we were because we started partying early, right? Drinking the whiskey and all that stuff and boiling the corned beef and the cabbage and the potatoes and all that. And here we are drinking this Irish whiskey. And, one of the fathers was there making us all breakfast because he wanted to make sure we had enough food in our stomach while we were drinking early in the morning. So those are my two favorite memories of St. Patrick's Day. But I did want to give just a quick little blip on St. Patrick because he's the reason for the day, right? So I got this off the History Channel. So St. Patrick, who had lived during the 5th century, is the patron saint of Ireland and its national apostle. He was born in Roman Britain. He was kidnapped and brought to Ireland as a slave at 16. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
I didn't know he was that young, but yeah.
I didn't know the kidnapping part, but I knew that he wasn't actually Irish.
Okay. So it was all news to me. So he later escaped, but he returned to Ireland and was credited with bringing Christianity to its people. And in the centuries following Patrick's death, believed to have been on March 17th, the year was 493. That's a long time ago.
Wow.
That's a long-ass time ago. So the mythology surrounding his life became ever more ingrained in the Irish culture. Perhaps the most well-known legend of St. Patrick is that he explained the Holy Trinity, which is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, using the 3 leaves of a native Irish clover, the shamrock.
The shamrock.
So y'all been schooled, okay?
Okay.
I do love me a shamrock shake.
Yeah, those are good, those minty things.
I don't know. I've never had one.
Really?
Oh, they're good.
Yeah.
It's like chocolate chip mint ice cream without the chocolate chips in it.
Mint chocolate chip is my favorite ice cream, but the color of the green of those shakes, I've just never been able to get past. And I know the green in my mint chocolate chip ice cream is green. I get it. I hear you. I just don't know. I just have never been able to try one.
That's got to
smell
change.
and look toxic to me.
Oh, they probably are.
I'm a Breyers kind of ice cream girl. You know what I mean? Like, I like the all natural flavors and shit.
So your mint chocolate chip from Breyers is a white chocolate.
It's white.
It's a white.
Yeah. Oh. It's white with chocolate chips. But as a kid, I remember getting the green kind at the ice cream parlor.
Mm-hmm.
There was always an ice cream parlor that everybody went to. And, they got all the buckets lined up and you pick which one you want. And it was always green, and mint chocolate chip was my favorite. But I don't know. As I got older and realized that wasn't really a naturally occurring color, if anything, when it's natural with the pistachios, when it's pistachio ice cream with chocolate chips, it's kind of yellowy. It's not really green like that toxic green. So I don't know. My brain I don't know.
Mint is green.
Yeah, like it's not that color green. It's not a teal green. When it's smashed up, it's like a muted, earthy yellow green. Trust. I've done the work.
This is an OCD rabbit hole right here.
It's OCD rabbit hole, exactly. I went down it, and I can't ever come back from it.
Oh, no. Well, what I remember, one of the times I was really sick as a kid, I had the flu. And that's when my mom used to slap that Vicks vapor rub all over your chest and slap a T-shirt on you, and you feel all sticky and gooey. And I was so...
Yeah.
What, your mom never slapped you with the Vicks?
Yeah, but that was a lot of description, is all I'm saying.
But it's true, though. It's gross.
It is gross. You feel really yucky. I mean, on top of being sick, then you got this stuff on you and a shirt sticking to you. And I couldn't eat and I couldn't drink. I didn't want it. And then finally, I don't know, it was that night, and I was like, my mom kept trying to get food down me, and I'm like, I need mint chocolate chip ice cream. And that saved my life. So I will forever love mint chocolate. I could do without the chocolate chips. I just do the mint ice cream.
Yeah.
I will eat that toxic green color.
Yeah, I'll stick with Brian's.
I really wish that Andy's Thin Mint would come up with a mint ice cream.
Oh, that's something right
Because
there.
it's my favorite too, but I like to have it mint chocolate chip and chocolate together. I'll eat it by itself, but I prefer it as a 2-scoop combo.
2-scoop combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he came up with something. Andy's Thin Mints. Come on, guys, make us that ice cream. I would eat it. I would eat it. I think you're onto something.
See, well, there's always exclusions to any OCD theory.
Yeah, there
because
is.
I do enjoy Andy's Thin Mint, and that is a toxic green color.
Yeah, but you could do like a chocolate base with mint. So it could actually be like a brown
Yeah, we'll work that in for you.
with like green mint chips.
Yeah, we won't need the green because it'll be overtaken by the brown of the chocolate.
I would eat it if it was brown, as long as it tasted like the Thin Mint. I would gobble that
Yeah.
shit up.
Yeah. would be
Absolutely. What you got over there? You look like you have something to say.
Oh, I was just looking up the legend of the pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. Mm-hmm. And
It's mine. Don't be telling the masses about it.
Mine, oh mine.
well, it was talking about the mischievous leprechauns, that would hide gold at the end of a rainbow, because a rainbow's an optical illusion. It's not really there, so people would be looking for gold that they would never be able to obtain. And but then it goes on further to say that it suggested that it actually originated with the Vikings, that the gold, because Ireland didn't have any gold, but the Vikings did when they went there.
After they stole it.
And so then they buried it, and then the leprechauns took it and hoarded it and tricked people into thinking that they could get some, and they couldn't.
So it all comes back to the Vikings, is basically what you're saying. And I'm going to send you guys a picture because you have to see this. So Todd is actually wearing a green plaid Viking hat with green horns and green braids.
Now you got to put it on the bottom of the cast.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to get that in there. We actually both have those, and all of a sudden I'm in there making the corned beef meatloaf, and in comes Todd. I'm like, oh my God.
I'll just send it to you guys now.
So it's been a traumatic week for me with losing my tooth.
Yeah, that sucked.
I want the stitches out.
It continues to suck.
I don't know how I'm going to wait until next Wednesday.
They're driving you crazy?
Yeah, they are. Like, it's starting, I can feel it healing. I've had wisdom teeth pulled, but I guess, when you have those, I only had 2, they just yanked them out and that was it. Boom, done. This was a completely different experience because the oral surgeon that I went to, they drew my blood. So they had that, and then they took ground cadaver bone and ground bovine bone, and then they separated my white blood cells from my red blood cells and mixed my white blood cells in with the 2 different types of bone, and then packed that down into the space where my tooth used to be. And that shit just blew my mind. I'm like, say what? I love science. That's some science shit right there.
That's some science shit.
I love science.
Do you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, that's interesting. They're like, well, it just helps to prevent with, getting any type of possible rejection to the different types of bone. So now the cows are my sisterhood.
So you have Neanderthal and cows.
I do. I have 67% more Neanderthal in my DNA than most people. That's what I learned. 23andMe.
Yep.
And that
So
also...
you're straight up cave woman. Is that what you're trying to express?
I will
Straight up cave woman.
I will conk a mofo over the head if I need to. Whack! And have fun doing it, I think.
I was today years old when I learned how to cook bacon the most easiest, cleanest way ever on the planet.
When you were 8?
No.
Today years old. Today years old. Means that she just learned today.
That you can put it in a pot, like that you boil pasta in.
Okay.
And it cooks itself in its own frickin' oil, and it's perfect. For years and years, because you're taught how to do it in the skillet. And you're standing there, and you're standing there, and you're standing there. Then I thought I was a genius when I learned how to do it on the broiler pan. And I could do a whole package. The only problem with that is that you have to get thick cut if you really want to do it that way, because if you get the regular cut or center cut, it's too thin. And the oven will dry it out too quickly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're stuck getting that thick cut. But then on TikTok, I saw this lady, and she's like, well, let's fry some bacon up. And I'm like, girl, what are you doing? That is a pot for pasta. That is not a pot. What? You don't put bacon in a pot. And then she put the bacon in the pot, and then the bacon came out bacony.
So,
and I was like, what? So I did it, and it works.
Okay. So this is her coming in when I'm working and telling me that she just found this out. And I was like, babe, I showed you that 2 years ago. She was like, not in a spaghetti pot. I'm like, no, you don't need a spaghetti pot. You just need a skillet with an edge. The ones that come up about 2.5 inches.
Yeah.
The big skillets. It's a skillet. It's a big skillet. Just put the whole thing in there. Just mix it up a little bit as it cooks. That's it. And then you have bacon. You don't got to do 2-3 fucking slices at a time in a skillet. That's how this woman was cooking me bacon. I was like, this is taking too long. Here, I show you this. This teaches me that she completely shut down, and she has no recollection of anything that I said that day to her, because I chastised her for the way she was doing things. So I learned about my wife that she doesn't absorb anything after. Don't do it like that.
She shut down.
All right, that's the answer I don't want. Volume down.
Oh my God. All right, I'm going back to Nina. You just chastised her on the podcast. So now I'm focusing back to Nina. So
I mean, the bacon is curly.
Mm-hmm.
So when making a BLT, it can be a little difficult, But if you're just having it to have it, or like you're using it for other ingredients, like I made twice baked potatoes today, and I chopped it up and put it in the twice baked part. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, I have another little bacon skill to teach you.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with a pot or a skillet. It has everything to do with the microwave.
Oh, she's tried that before. She don't like it. She says it's too rubbery.
Oh, no.
She didn't do it right. So you put down.
You just hit the button.
She shut me down. Did you shut me down? She's like, I'm not listening to you.
You're not doing it right.
No, see, but we've grown since that. And especially today, that was one of the lessons. That was one of the, lessons that I should have paid more attention to 1.5 years, 2 years ago. But I didn't learn that lesson till today, when she told me that she's never heard of it before. And then, then you start making the connections, and you're like, oh, okay. So all those times that we've processed through a lot of that since then, because this is back when we first got together, and what we've processed through, so I've learned, I can't ever just come in and do it, or I can't say, oh, let me help you, and then completely do it my way, Fast and Furious. When she wanted to start at step 1, I started at step 10. You know what I mean? We've processed through a lot of that stuff. But today, when she told me about the bacon, and I was like, but we had this lesson 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And then she was like, what are you talking about? With complete, noticeable, no recollection of the happenings, that I was talking about. I could see it on her face. She literally had no idea what I was talking about when I'm telling her, remember when? And then I had to realize, because I started with, don't do it like that, do it like this.
Oh.
And anything after that, at that time in our relationship, she would have completely shut down. Because nowadays, I don't ever start with that. I don't.
No.
It's been a natural progression that I never say to her, don't do it that way. I don't ever correct her anymore. I say, why are you doing it like that, then?
It's all in the delivery.
See, Tracy must have learned. Tracy must have learned this about me a long time ago because she always goes, "Why are you doing it like that?"
Because I'm like, that's not in my brain. That's not right.
Or she'll go she'll look at me and she'll just go, "Huh."
That's true. I do that. Because I'm working on myself, and I'm like, just not, you know what? He does his things the way he does the things. It's not the way I do the things. It's hard.
Exactly. Well, this is the reason. This is where me and Tracy connect. This is where we're the same person. We're like, don't work harder, work smarter. Like this has been tried and true. And believe me, neither one of us are above finding out an even better way than we thought. Like, we're open to you giving us a better way if it's faster.
But until that moment,
if it's accurate and fast, we're all about it. We will change our motherfucking ways.
Yeah.
Because that is the thing about being a nurse. A lot of things change all the time. You learn something like the back of your hand, and then we find out that we were actually causing some kind of cootie. So then we say, you know what? We flip the script and we learn a completely different way because it's educated practice. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So we're open to new and different ways.
Yeah.
If they're efficient. If they're not efficient, stop it.
Exactly. We're going back to my way. All right. So speaking of efficient bacon making, I'm gonna briefly tell you about the microwave. So parchment paper, and then a couple nice pieces of paper towel, and then you lay out. And it doesn't matter if it's thick or thin, however you like your bacon. Lay it out, and then put that in the microwave. I always start at 5 minutes. It's never enough. Then I got to flip it. 3 more minutes. That shit is crispy as hell. Pull it out. We like it like real crispy.
Yeah.
I don't want
I want to, if I hold up a piece of bacon, it should stand out straight.
stiff like a board.
Yep.
And it's super crispy. It's not rubbery. It's not yucky. So 8 minutes, and there's no more frying it like your mama, right?
Well, no, actually, my mom used to do it in the microwave.
Oh.
But my thing always with the microwave is I hated the cleanup part of it because it was just always so messy. But I'm also the kind of person where if I'm going to open up a package of bacon, I'm cooking the entire thing right then.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just reheat it for like 30 seconds later on if I want to put it on something else. So I never do like a few at a time.
Yeah,
so can you do like a whole package of bacon at one time, or
you can
do you have
get
to break it up?
You can get like 10. Wait, let me think. I don't know, maybe eight pieces max I've gotten in there, and then I pull those out. And see, that's the beauty of the parchment paper, right? So the parchment paper, you just fold all that in. There is no grease in the microwave on the microwave plate.
Yep.
Yeah, well, she never did it with parchment paper. It was always paper towels. And then she would do it on a paper plate. And then, like, the whole thing is, like, full of grease after that, you know? Mm-hmm. And then you got people inside. And I'm not about trying to make it where I have to clean more.
Exactly.
That's where I find efficiencies.
The less, the better. I feel you.
The less I got to clean it, the better.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, and anytime, maybe you guys didn't do it, but growing up, I mean, my mom always fried it in the frying pan. Then you got hot ass grease all over you. You smell like bacon. Your hair, your clothes, your underwear, your bra, everything smells like bacon.
I like bacon.
I love bacon.
Well, I think that's the case no matter what. But I guess not if you make it in the microwave. It dissipates.
Yep, you don't smell like bacon. It's not like, okay, I got to go take another shower because I'm all greasy bacon. Nope.
I feel like some of these conversations you're having is slippery slopes.
I know. We love the slippery slopes, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie is fucking going nuts.
What? Oh.
You guys don't even hear him anymore.
Yeah, I know we don't. Hold on.
Go to bed, Charlie. Charlie.
Sorry, Charlie.
I can't remember what Christine used to say. There was like some music or something that she would say.
What?
What would you say when you would something? Didn't you tell your bird to put on? Didn't you tell Alexa to put Charlie to bed or play a song for Charlie or something like that?
No, turn Charlie's light on.
You have to explain who Charlie is for the listeners because maybe they don't know.
Charlie is that sweet. He's all about. I don't know. He's just that. What kind of bird is he? Because we might as well introduce him.
Charlie is a blue collar Quaker, which apparently is the smallest of the parrots. So she can talk, and she used to talk more. Now she just does a lot of sounds, which is probably because there's a lot less people in the house. So we don't talk out loud as much, especially near her cage. But she like roams free when I'm working and stuff, because if I don't let her roam free, she will be squawking up a storm, and all of my conference calls would be interrupted all the time. But as long as she's like roaming free, she doesn't make too much racket. But at night, of course, she's in her cage, so she makes.
But that's when they learn the best, is at night.
Yeah.
Really?
So, yeah. So she's picked up some new sounds.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It took me a little
Literally,
second to catch up.
Every person that comes over to her house, they're like, that is an interesting sound. Why does it sound like your bird is fucking?
Sure, that light is not that light. Turning Charlie's light on or off or whatever. She's like, no. There's some cool shit going down, and I'm gonna chirp it for you. Oh my god! and your bird is yellow.
She's blue.
She's blue.
What?
Yes.
I have her strongly stamped in my brain as a yellow bird.
I have a picture somewhere with you.
But you're a yellow bird. She's blue.
Well, that's weird as shit.
I don't know. You just superimposed the yellow bird in your memory of Charlie.
I guess so, like Tweety Bird.
No, she's like a pale blue.
Oh. Well, sorry, Charlie.
I remembered.
My favorite that I when she was younger, and we used to always try to make her say, Charlie bit my finger. But she never said that. But she says a few curse words, and she says kisses, and she says, what are you doing? And she says, hi, Charlie. But
Aw.
that's pretty much it.
Can we get her to
That's
say hi,
pretty
Charlie? Is she in your hair?
No, she's not on my head right now. I don't let her sit on my head. I have long hair, and that's messy.
Well,
That would make me throw up.
Well, I have seen her in a couple of meetings, and all of a sudden, here comes Charlie's head around your shoulder.
I know, because she's trying to get my attention. So I've learned since then that I don't let her in my office anymore, but she is flying around free. So it's a win-win.
I love it. What is that? What is that bird? The white bird with the yellow, like fanny thing that comes out. Is it a cockatiel?
Cockatiel.
Yeah.
Cockatiel.
Yeah.
There is a thing on Facebook, like a reel. It's old, but it's like a mad cockatiel is the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, I know what one you're talking about.
You know, he's stomping. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a buddy that had one of those, and as soon as you walked in the door, it went, fuck you! And I was like, what? Fuck you! And he'd go, fuck you! And we just go back and forth, and my buddy finally said, dude, you're not going to win. Just ignore him. Just ignore him.
He'll say fuck you all night long. There was a bird actually in Michigan, some form, I think it was a gray parrot. And I won't give I'm going to give some details because this will probably be a show that we do at one point on Malice and the Mitten. But this woman, like, oh, my husband was shot. And of course she was shot too, but she was fine. But the husband was dead as a doornail, right? And here she's like thinking she got away with it. And all of a sudden the parrot said the whole thing, acted out the whole thing. The argument of what the husband said, what she said, and even made the sounds of the gun.
Wow.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And they took it, took it to the courts or
Are
whatever.
you sure it was a parrot?
It was a parrot.
Maybe it was a stool pigeon.
That was a good one. But it was definitely, I want to say it was a gray parrot. And initially they weren't going to allow this bird evidence, but then they did. And she's busted and her ass is in jail.
Wow.
Go parrot. So see?
Yeah. Well, Charlie rats us out every time she gets a chance too. So it's a bird thing.
And I go, yeah, guess what I
They
heard?
don't know secrets. They don't
Exactly.
know. Yeah.
She's into spilling all the tea.
Yeah, nobody
Birds do like tea, by the way. They do actually like tea.
like hot tea or like the just the leaves of it.
I
Or are
don't
you
know
just
if they
talking
can
gossip?
tea. No. Well, I'm saying that what we were talking about gossip, but then really through mostly other birds, because Charlie will take a sip, but mine is cold tea. She'll take sips here and there, but she's never really gotten into it. But then again, I'm not British, so I don't make tea every day. But I've seen in the other bird videos that I've seen on, Insta or TikTok or wherever the hell I see them, they drink tea. They like tea. I don't know if it's hot because most tea drinkers all the time is like lukewarm.
Okay. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
But yeah, they eat herbs and all that anyway.
Well, then
So
that
we-
makes sense.
Totally makes sense.
Is it bad for a bird to have tea?
I would think not, because tea leaves are natural.
True. You have a cup of chamomile with your bed in the morning. I remember when I was, my dad was a coffee drinker. We never really drank. There was really not tea in the house when I was growing up. My mom didn't really drink tea or coffee, but my dad was a coffee drinker. And of course, so then I loved coffee. But then when I was, 24, I was working at Empire Toys. So Empire Toys, like when we were kids, they're the ones that made all the big nativity, plastic sets that you would plug in and light up. Green Machine.
Green Machine, that's
Green
what I
Machine
had. Yep.
was Empire Toys. And we used to have toy makers from all over. And we had this guy that would always come over from London. And I was the executive secretary. So, of course, my main job was ordering all these people breakfast, lunch, dinners, breaking out the liquor after hours. And that was the big thing. Every time this guy came, I knew I had to have tea and I knew I had to have creamer for the tea. And I remember that blew me away. I'm like, what? That's gross.
Yeah.
But it's really not. If anybody's ever tried a little cream in their tea, it's very English, I guess.
Well, you should.
It's a thing. I used to take mine with sugar and cream too.
Yeah.
When I drink tea.
Yeah, it's good. I just thought that was always, you just brewed it and you drink it like that. So initially, in my early 20s, I'm like, that's not right. But it actually is pretty right.
See, my dad was a tea drinker, but not a coffee drinker. And my mom was a coffee drinker, but not a tea drinker. But now I like both. So
I love tea and I love coffee.
I gotta
That's
have.
all I drink. Tea and coffee.
Well, you get your water that way.
I gotta have honey in my hot tea, though.
Yeah. Super good for you. Do you guys have any fun plans coming up this weekend?
Actually, I don't think so. I don't think we have any plans. Last weekend, this previous weekend, was when everybody was doing all the St. Patrick's Day stuff. So we did a couple of Popeyes at a couple of different places, but nothing major. We didn't really do anything major.
What's a
But
Popeye?
you?
I ain't got no plans.
Pop buys. We went by here, we went by there. All the different things of the different groups of friends we have, what they were doing.
Oh, gotcha. I haven't looked that far ahead.
No, I've just been thinking about cleaning up the rest of the backyard after the snow was thawed.
Oh, God, that's the worst, you guys.
Yep.
Spring poop clean.
I've got about a third of the yard cleaned up.
So it's shit cleaning.
Yep.
That's what's shit cleaning.
Speaking about mainly yard stuff, I actually got a new miter saw, which borrowed the miter saw that I had, which, in fairness, it was ours before. So he borrowed it because he needed it for something, and he broke it. Mind you, it's like 20 some odd years old, because my ex Matt and I are very Irish, so we build a lot of things, true to our heritage. We are some woodworking fools. So a miter saw, we got a lot of use out of it. And so we always get like industrial type kind of machinery. We don't mess around with the little do-it-yourself homer stuff when it comes to miter saws. So I had to buy a new miter saw. So I did that over the weekend. And I immediately had buyer's remorse because now I'm old. I don't really build anything anymore. I don't have to fix things that the kids broke. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, of course, because I go, I went like maybe not top of the line, but pretty high up on the line because, that's what I know because I used to really need it to be heavy duty. And now I don't really need that, but at the same time, yes, there are a few things I want to build. Like I'm going to be doing a fence out in the front, like a border fence type thing. And I'm going to be making some new raised flower beds for Nina and stuff. So things like that. But I could do that with a cheaper miter saw. So I immediately had buyer's remorse. And I actually called my ex today when I had time after work and told him that he needed to talk me through the serious buyer's remorse I had for buying this miter saw.
Well, like, is this like industrial size? Like, how big is this miter saw?
I mean, okay, so let's say it's about 4 times what the regular 10-inch miter saw would cost at Lowe's for most people that would go and buy a miter saw. It's about 4 times that amount. You
needed a flatbed truck to get this fucker home.
I needed the whole back end of the Jeep to get this fucker home.
I know you're like, because that's how you roll.
It's 95 pounds.
Really?
Yeah. It's a piece of machinery. And I love me some machinery. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm true to my roots.
Yeah.
I love me some heavy machinery. Hello, Mustang, Jeep, heavy machinery in the garage as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm 50 now. I'm an empty nester. What am I going to be building? Come on.
Yeah, but that's the thing about being an empty nester is you can do all these projects, different projects with the miter saw. You can just get crazy with that now. You can miter all you want.
If we're able to get lumber in a couple of months from now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that was another thing I was thinking. Like, where am I getting all this wood to be cutting?
Right. God only knows.
But yeah, so anyway, I'm sorry. I just busted in with that because it was something that I was like, do I really need that? Do I really need that? Or should I, be a little old lady now and go get, a little tiny miter saw and a little Dremel kit and call it a day? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're going to stick with it. Yeah, I know. Well, we're getting old. But you know what? 50's still young.
Yeah, I think so too. But it's not young in the way of manual labor.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's young in the way of attitude and fun and joy and all those things. It's young and fun in that way. But in the way of manual labor, I don't know. It just hits different.
It hits different for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
And that's if you didn't pull something that you didn't know you even had.
Exactly.
I pulled muscles I didn't even know existed.
You're like, what is this?
I mean, I'm built like a gummy bear. You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about a gummy bear. That's how I am.
That's not how you are.
Okay, very squishy.
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical. You are not a gummy bear.
She does have these little tiny frail chicken bones.
I do.
Well, if you had as much Neanderthal as I did, you wouldn't have that problem.
That's true.
I'm like, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? And why do I have so much of it?
That's part.
I struggled because I did a lot of that stuff. Like when, in my first marriage, we lived in Louisiana and I bought, a 130-year-old plantation home and I renovated the whole thing from top to bottom with them, So I'm not, I dug trenches for our cesspool. We redid all the plumbing underneath the house, and it was raised, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, gotta crawl underneath the house and do all that kind of shit. I was hanging siding on a 30-foot lift on our house when I was like pregnant. So like, I had my own tools.
Yeah, we believe you.
But my thing is like, now I can't do any of that stuff. And I'm remembering those glory days, and I enjoyed that. But now that I have a life where, like, I can do that at my leisure, my body says no. My body says no.
But I love that for you. Like, you have to kind of defend. Like, I haven't always been a delicate flower.
I haven't. I once was very spry and strong for me, you know.
Yeah,
I could do stuff.
I do believe you, baby. I do.
I believe it. Todd, honey, do you believe it?
I certainly do.
She's a little stick of dynamite, this one.
Well, when you're short, you gotta be louder than everybody else, you know?
Yes, I do. I can just see you, and first thing I'm going to say is, what in the hell is your husband letting you do up on a 30-foot ladder, pregnant, hanging siding? That's some bullshit.
Maybe one of the reasons why they're no longer married.
Right. Because that's bullshit. Anywho, we're not going to tear him to pieces. He doesn't matter anymore.
No, he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. And he's in the past.
Where he belongs.
Stay back there, past tense. All right. Well, that was a fun conversation, you guys.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Refreshing. I feel like we bounced all over a little bit too much.
I know. That's the fun part of it. I love bouncing around.
I get we meander.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone. Thanks for listening, as always. We appreciate you. And we will see you guys back on Friday for F-Bomb. We got another great story for you.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So have a great week, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Adios.